What's up, you guys? It's your girl Kalima. Welcome to Kalima Kam Word of Wisdom. I am so excited to start this sort of new revamping. I usually do top trends in, pop culture, and I kind of talk about the latest news, celebrity news, and that sort of thing. And I'm still going to continue to do that, but I really want to get to the discussions because that's really what I'm all about. Like, it's great to analyze these celebrities and sort of relate them back to our lives, but what good is it unless we can really, really talk about the real issues and, the discussions that need to be had in our lives, just personally. And first off, I just want to say thank you guys so much for following me thus far. I have come a long way, okay, a really long way. Started in Florida. Long story short, just wanted to do entertainment hosting and get paid for it. She's done it. God has done it, and
now she got Kalima Kam. It's official though.
top 5 ways to get his respect, girl. It starts, to me,
with respecting thine self. Okay?
The first way to get respect from someone else is to love myself enough to know what I require from others. When you carry yourself in a specific way and in a specific light, you attract those people who are like, you know what? This is the type of caliber in a woman that I respect and that I'm attracted to. And then you're also going to have people walk by, acknowledge you, but they're going to walk by and they're going to keep walking because they're like, no, I can't manipulate her. I can't control her. I can see she's too smart for my games. I can see that my looks are really not going to be the thing that keeps her around. My celebrity, my, persona, my following is not going to really be good enough. Or maybe it is. But if that's the level of respect that you require for yourself, it's exactly what you're going to attract. So let's start off with talking about abusive love. I'm going to have a whole nother video called the top 5 ways to love yourself coming up soon. So definitely subscribe and look out for that. But to respect yourself, you have to avoid abusive relationships. This should go without saying, but a lot of people don't know really how to decipher what an abusive relationship is. I think the most common abuse is emotional abuse, is communicative abuse. There's just so many scenarios, I don't even know where to start, but listen to the way that that man speaks to you, the way that he hears you, because a lot of times we say things and what we say, they heard it differently, and then therefore that reaction that they give you is off of what they heard. So to be clear on the things that you say can avoid a communicative abusive relationship. Now, forgive me, I have not been in an abusive relationship physically. This entire top 5 is off of my perception of the standards that I hold for my life and that I've seen in my own experience amongst others' lives. I don't know about physical abuse, thank God, but it tears me the hell apart to see queens. Listen, this is so sad. I'm just so I'm for the females, and I feel like we haven't been dealt a even card, unfortunately, when it comes to the standard or the stereotype socially in America. It's not an even playing field, and I think that we accept so much, and so we think that it just comes with the territory. It doesn't come with the territory. It doesn't have to. And if it has to, be okay with loving yourself alone. Be okay with saying, you know what, I would rather be single, honey, and take care of myself than to, depend on a man to give me that fulfillment. The moment that you stop loving yourself and allow your love to be defined by another person, in this case a man, is the moment you allow them to define your worth. It is, to me, one of the most important, if not the most important thing in your life is to love yourself first and to know your worth. Because if you don't know your worth everyone else is going to tell you what you're worth. That's why there's these models who, every other month have a different face or something. We live for everyone else's definition of beauty, definition of worthy. And that's allowing other people to now define your purpose in life. So now you've not only lost who you are, but you've lost your whole purpose, and you are just bopping about life. That's what I call it. Just bopping about and just waiting basically to die, because you don't really know what you're here for. You're just waiting for someone to show it to you, for you to get that feeling. And when we're going off of feeling too much, then our emotions can become scattered and we're not clear. We're not clear and conscious. Being aware of what you deserve versus what you want. Get out a pen and paper and write down what you deserve, and then write down what you want. And then if those two lists do not match, figure out what qualities you need to create in yourself to match those together. I personally know I'm not perfect, but I know that I work super hard to be with someone who isn't at the same income level as me, or isn't as focused as me, isn't as passionate as me, doesn't have their own car, doesn't have their own house. For me, it is a lot about monetary value, materialistic value, just as much as mental value and, just character itself. I hold myself at a certain caliber, and I expect them to be the same way. I expect them to have that sort of same respect for themselves. So what I deserve and what I want matches to me in my life. Basically, don't be a nickel searching for a dime. Y'all heard it before. It's the truth. Number 2, mind your conversations. Avoid sex talk early on, or at all, and this can go for any sort of conversations, but think before you speak, especially when you're starting off in a relationship, or in any sort of friendship and that sort of thing. Because men lead with their eyes, So if you let them, taste a little too much early on, it will become a lustful relationship. And then you'll be like, oh, I fell in love with someone that I really was just lusting over. And so you have to take responsibility for the fact that, you allowed him and allowed yourself to sort of lead this relationship with conversations that led to things maybe too quickly. I personally think that sex totally changes things. It distracts you and it throws you off from really getting to know the person. Have you noticed that you kind of become intimate with them, and then you find out who they are, and then you realize you were living in a fantasy the whole time, because it's like,
oh my god, no, he's so intimate when I kiss him. I know he's the one.
I'm the same way, I feel that the kiss really does show a lot, but it can really throw you off because you're leading with feeling once again. So just mind your conversation. Think about what signals and signs you're sending him, because if a man sees that there's a green light there, he gonna run that green light. You feel me? He gonna go ahead and press the gas. Presentation, number 3. What's the energy and attitude you're giving off, and how does he respond? Like I said, it's your character. How are you dressed on the first date? Are you shaking his hand? Are you giving him a hug? Is he keeping eye contact with you? Are you keeping eye contact with him? Think about body language. It's so important to me, I'm a visual person, to write it down. Really, if you truly want these suggestions, take the time to insert Iyanla, do your work. But just be responsible. Acknowledge what you did, how you could correct it. And honestly, women, we think a little bit more than men anyway. So just because you sat with your legs uncrossed in a miniskirt doesn't mean that he saw you as a whore. You know what I mean? Like, if you carried yourself well, and you know that your intention was not to do that, consciously your intention was not to come off that way, 9 times out of 10, he was not thinking like that. You were just having fun, maybe a little tipsy or something, and you weren't being respectful to your own body. So it goes back to loving yourself first in order to put that energy and project the right energy out. Number 4, boundaries, deal breakers. If y'all don't understand nothing else, understand boundaries and deal breakers. You can't get respect from him if he's not even meeting those boundaries and those deal breakers. He just not a respectful person. You know what I'm saying? He just a disrespectful dude. You feel me? But you gotta be clear on what your boundaries are. Kids, you know, for me
it's kind of a deal breaker.
spiritual, religion, you know, think about those things that, you know what, I could never be with this type of person, or I absolutely could be with this type of person. What's my boundary? You know what? I think that if a man wants to text me after 12 a.m. then, or after 10 p.m., then, you know, it's a booty call. Just think about what those boundaries are and be clear on them and make sure you stick to them. Be mindful of what you teach him, because that's exactly what he will accept from you. And don't like brush it off and forgive him when he does cross those boundaries so quickly. It's okay to forgive, but you have to almost train him like a dog. You really do. I'm being so real with you. You have to train them in the sense of anyone, a woman, man, your manager, you know, you gotta let that standard be known from the beginning, because if they see that that light is yellow and they might be able to catch that light and go through it, they're gonna go through it, and then they're always gonna be looking for the yellow light. They're gonna be waiting for that yellow light, you know. So you really gotta set those boundaries up front, and don't minimize and brush off and forgive so much. And number 5, know when to say no. Sometimes you just got a disrespectful dude, like I said, an immature child who just isn't worthy. After you've done all that you can do and you realize, you know what, I just don't even think this is going to work. You do not respect me. I've given you all of the signs to see that you are crossing the line and going outside of the bounds of where I hold myself. Then you got to look at it as like, you know what, I'm not the woman for you. There is someone for everyone. You know, I believe that there's multiple soulmates. You can have multiple soulmates. I don't even think it's likely that they're going to be within the same 100-mile radius. I really don't. I think that you can have a soulmate that doesn't even speak English. You feel me? So a delay is not a deny. Maybe you have the qualities that I like, everything sort of checks off, but the timing just isn't right. Don't be afraid of the timing being wrong. It's okay. It's the universe speaking to you and giving you an omen to say, you know what, there's actually some pretty good guys out there. He was pretty freaking amazing. It's just not right now. It just doesn't feel right now. Be so in tune with who you are and love yourself so much that you know that I'm playing myself and I'm trying to make a situation what it really isn't. I hope you guys loved it. Subscribe, definitely comment. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next video.